paranormal, the new normal. I'm your host, as always, Jeremy, here trying to make the world seem a little more normal. Do we ever accomplish it? Fuck no. And we're not accomplishing it tonight by any fucking means, because we're not talking reality even, really. So, we're good. We're good. We're just going to have some fun, and in case y'all didn't realize it by the title, this is another special episode. It's another 2-on-1 bracket, and holy shit, it's the same fucking topic as last week. I didn't even realize I scheduled it. I just went with it, and I am so fucking good with that. Hello, random Facebook user I don't know the name that has no name. Reveal yourself. But yes, another 2-on-1 Rotten Tomato horror movies bracket, folks. And I am joined by first-time guests on the bracket. Glad to have them because I've been retweeting them. They've been retweeting me on Twitter for a long time. I am joined by Mr.X and Kaleb from the Macky Rat podcast.
Yeah, we're happy to be here tonight to do your best Marvel and comic book movies bracket. And I don't want to sound biased here, but I think you might know when a certain movie comes up which one I'll go with. Web Ball.
If that topic was if I could make that topic paranormal in any certain way, trust me, it would already be a bracket on that list. But it's just not. It doesn't blend. I might start doing more brackets on a different show sooner or later, but I'm working on that. We'll see. But
exactly.
And
wait, what was that?
It's Dave. Oh, what up, Dave? But glad to have you both here, the faceless one and the one with the mask. And we are going to have some fun tonight because I can already tell these two are going to be a hoot for this. So let's get the ball rolling. And as in alphabetical order as always, Kaleb gets to start out the first matchup, and then they'll switch each matchup. And as everybody knows, since it's a 2-on-1 bracket, if these two cannot make a decision between two movies, then it just happens to fall into my pretty hands, and I get to make the decision. So we all know that
there's always hands on camera, real quick.
Oh,
they are. They're big. Oh yeah, you have long fingers. That is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Look, luxurious.
My wife doesn't complain, but
very good.
But exactly. All the married men out there know what I'm talking about. But for the first matchup, Kaleb.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, these are all Rotten Tomatoes rankings. I did not make these rankings, and I did not put these movies in this list except for 4 of them, which I'll tell you which ones those are. But those are the playing matchups, so we'll get to those eventually. These rankings, though, that Rotten Tomatoes gave us, the first matchup is number 14 ranked Scream 3 going against number 41. I know, I can't explain that. Going against number 41 ranked It from 2017, or It Chapter 1, it's also known as.
Wow. Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I haven't seen Scream 3, but I did watch the trailer. I tried to watch all of these before coming on the show, but some of them I just couldn't bring myself to watch. I think this is an easy It here. I mean, I don't know how this is 41st and Scream 3 is 14th, but it is definitely the better movie here.
Because fuck Rotten Tomatoes. That's why. But
yeah, I guess I don't know what they're doing over there at Rotten Tomatoes, but yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, Billboard, they all suck at rankings. Trust me. We do them all on my shows. They all suck. But
are these rankings by like movie critics or are these fan based?
I tend to believe they're based off an average of the tomato and the popcorn meter. Huh. So I'm guessing it's both just combined, and that's what makes the ranking. So you know how horrible those tomato meters are with rankings, or with percentages. So I mean, it's not hard to believe that these rankings are going to be fucked, and trust me, they are fucked. But
Scream 1 I can understand. Like, Scream 1 isn't... I mean, it was fine for its time. I think a lot of people view it favorably over time. But Scream 3? It's bizarre.
I mean, And the funny thing is, Scream 1 and Scream 2 aren't even on this bracket. That's the funny thing.
It's so crazy. Scream 1's an amazing movie. And, when Scream 1 came out, horror is the most popular genre of movie now, pretty much. And
Mhm.
when Scream before Scream 1, like people were like you know,
Yeah.
maybe this horror movie thing isn't going to catch on. You know, they're like thinking about like
It
calling it quits for mainstream horror productions. And then Scream came along and like revitalized the
Mm-hmm.
industry, right?
Yeah.
And then
yeah, because
Scream 2 came out, and that was amazing. And then Scream 3 came out, and they're like, you know what? Maybe we should actually just give it a rest already and let the horror genre die because Scream 3 sucks so bad.
well, I mean, it was Scream did come out right in the end of the lull because the '90s was kind of a lull for horror movies. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, not really because there were still at least 90 movies per year. Trust me, I just made a bracket for every year from 1960 to current for horror movies, and there was over 100 horror movies in each year in the '90s, basically, or at least close to 100. But it just wasn't mainstream anymore from the late '80s to the early 2000s because of
Right.
many reasons. All the classic series had died out, and it just didn't. It wasn't what it was. It was all just slashers and
Yeah.
J horror and K horror started taking over. It was a whole thing.
Yeah. Sure, The Ring
But
after Scream 1. Right. I know.
yep,
So here's the
yep. That's.
deal. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say that's yeah. The Scream is some. I mean the Ring. The Scream. The Ring is some J horror. That's some J horror that
Yeah,
Americans stole and tried to make good, and
that
they
was the next
failed
thing. Yeah,
horribly.
Ringu.
Ringu. Yep.
Ringu.
Oh, there are a lot of Ringu movies. Trust me, there's a lot of Ringu movies.
Even
Yeah.
before the Ringu. The Ringu.
I mean, it's what they made the Ring based off. But
Yep. Ring sucks, but Ringu's cool. Anyways, I'm gonna say here's my thinking behind this. Scream 3, it loses points because they keep using the body armor twist, which is great advertising for body armor, right? But then it gains points at the end because you know, the chick what's her name? The main actress in it? You know, Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end, even though this Ghostface has come back countless times by now, she just doesn't care. So it's like she's leaving everything open, and she like leaves her gate open at the front of this like secure, you know, safe house type thing, and then she leaves the door open too, and the door blows open. She's like, it's nothing, right? It's like, yeah, I get that, but close the door, okay? I mean, you can just close the door. It's not a big deal. I get that you feel okay, right? But you're gonna have to close it eventually. So that is very good. And then It is a silly Stephen King movie that's gives you a wrap up spider ending, which he knows that people are scared of spiders, right? So he's like, people are scared of clowns, people are scared of spiders. So that's a whole huge, infinitely long book. But both in the original It and this It, they removed a certain scene from a sewer
Yes.
that I was hoping would be in it, which
As
makes
was
it lose
I.
a lot of points. So for
Mhm.
me, I'm gonna have to go still with It because Scream 3 sucks.
Yeah. Wise choice.
Tell me, what scene are you mentioning? Because I've read the book and there's a lot of scenes missing, but which one in particular are you talking about?
They get trapped in a sewer, and then magically
Oh,
they get out of the sewer by doing something. And then the movie's
Yes.
called It, right? And because it's like it's like, is it
because they
doing
did it. Yeah.
Yeah, is that why they
Yeah.
call it It? Because it's about it.
Mm-hmm.
That scene will never, ever, ever, ever pass the fucking FCC to make it in a movie. Just telling you.
Very sad not to see
let's
that
wait till
hot
they remake
scene.
it again. Yeah, exactly. Let's wait till they remake it.
They'd have to make it NR rated to get that scene in because
Well, is it X-rated It in the works? I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
There has to be clarity.
I'm sure the Rule 34. There's a porn for everything, so
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Not
But
just
I mean, it's
Stephen
just.
King's weird ass.
I mean, in Stephen King's famous scene of preteens doing things is never gonna make it to a movie. I can guarantee you that much. But
Well, they hire adult actors to play the teens, like in
it's still the
Beverly
idea
Hills
of it.
90210. Oh yeah, I guess so. The
even
idea.
simulated, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right, okay, that's fine.
it's the idea behind a underage gangbang, basically, that they would never go for.
Yeah. I mean, it's natural. That's what happened to me. Who hasn't been there? I mean, it's like a slice of life thing.
True, yeah.
Yeah, but they'll never show it on a fucking
It's like a
movie
slice
screen.
of life thing. You get stuck in a sewer, and you don't know. Anyways, we'll go on to the next bracket.
Yeah, and the next matchup to see who's facing it in round 2 is gonna be start off by Dr. X, Mr. X, whatever he wants to be called.
I
And-
am a doctor in real life. That's why I conceal my identity. People don't really want to go to a borderline, Anyways,
But the next matchup that Mr. X gets to star is number 13 ranked Frankenstein, the original, versus number 28, Dr. Sleep.
Okay, so Frankenstein, the original, right?
The OG.
Yeah, so you get a lot of great stuff from Frankenstein. Like pretty much, I'm not sure exactly. I'm not a reader, if you can't tell. I don't know how to read. So I don't know what happened in the Mary Shelley book, but I do know that pretty much the Frankenstein movie is how we depict Frankenstein now, as like a guy in like emu boots that increase your height and
bolts in his neck.
Yeah, bolts in his neck. It's a great look, and that movie is amazing. Like the sets they do, and Frankenstein is an amazing movie, and it is very tense when you know he's about to kill this little girl and then bring her down to a suit. Well, anyways, but you know what's cool about Frankenstein? What set off Frankenstein is Dr. Frankenstein sends his assistant to get a brain, and it's like he just grabs the retarded guy's brain, which I love. What a mix-up, dude! You had a 50% chance and you blew it, right? And then Dr. Sleep. So I like I love The Shining, right? And I was like, I'm not gonna see this Dr. Sleep movie. Ewan McGregor, I think that's who it is. I'm like, no, yeah, right.
It is.
He's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who cares, right? So I slept on it, if you would. Anyways, no laughs, I guess. So then one day I saw it. It was like on HBO, and I was like, I'll watch this, whatever. And that movie's awesome. It's a movie about a guy who kills hipsters, ultimately, right? So that earns a lot of points. Yeah, he's like just killing all these hipsters with a hunting rifle, and I was like, this fucking rocks, dude.
Yeah.
And there's like a black girl in it, so it's got like diversity and stuff. Does that make me seem like? Anyways. So I'm gonna have to say Frankenstein is very good. It's iconic, right? And it does a lot for the character Frankenstein, right? But it's very old and cheesy, so I can't quite relate to it. And it's not as scary. Dr. Sleep has some tense moments, more so, I think. And it's just it's well shot, it's well acted, and it's about killing hipsters, which isn't as scary for me as it is exhilarating, but I still think that I'm going to have to cast my stone for Dr. Sleep.
And Dr. Sleep gets a vote. What about you, Caleb?
This is another tough one for me because I haven't seen Frankenstein, though I understand how important a movie it is. But I really liked Dr. Sleep. So I can't imagine that I would enjoy a movie that old more than Dr. Sleep. But I understand the importance of the movie, so I'm gonna take Mr. X's. I'm gonna believe him when he says that it's a cheesy movie, and I'm gonna go with my gut on this one and agree with Dr. Sleep as well.
It's an amazing movie. There is some cheese to it, but like if you go to film school, you have to watch Frankenstein, right? So right, yeah. I mean, that's how I saw it. And like, I mean, I don't know. You should go watch it. Anyone out there who hasn't seen the original Frankenstein, Boris Karloff, Frankenstein, remember in Ed Wood when Bella Lugosi is like, they wanted me to play Frankenstein, and I said it was beneath me. He's all sad about it. That movie rules. Ed Wood. Go watch Ed Wood too.
Oh, Ed Wood's fucking incredible. But
amazing.
But that means you guys are going to have Dr. Sleep facing it in the next round. But
Oh man.
your next matchup that Caleb gets to start is not an easy one. It's number 12 ranked Jaws versus number 27 ranked Rosemary's Baby.
Oh man. Well, this is going to be an exciting one because, again, I have not seen Jaws.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
It rules.
No, I have not seen Jaws, but I did, specifically for this podcast, watch Rosemary's Baby. And man, that is a fucking amazing movie. I was not ready for how good of a movie that was.
Right?
Ultimately,
Dude,
I don't,
you haven't seen Jaws. What the fuck?
No, I really wanted to watch it in time for this because it's so iconic, but I didn't get around to it now.
You better be watching it this fucking weekend.
I can't get that I can't get that scared of great white sharks personally. I mean, they're just big fish. I mean, I get it. They can kill you and everything, but
no, you're wrong. Yeah, exactly. You're wrong.
Yeah. I feel like Rosemary's Baby. Go ahead.
I am more scared of a fucking thing that exists in the ocean that could eat me in one bite. And I'm a big guy, and it could still eat me in one bite. Compared to the idea that my wife might get pregnant and a cult that lives in an apartment next to us might try to fucking turn my baby into a demon antichrist. So,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
cool. That's cool.
Just the idea of my wife getting pregnant is already terrifying. So I don't need to hear any more than that. So my pick is definitely Rosemary's Baby on this, but I'm sure Mr. X is going to have some interesting thoughts. Go ahead, Mr. X.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Jaws.
dying to hear
Let me
it.
tell you something about sharks. I don't like that this movie gave sharks a bad name, right? And I love sharks. I love that. So I live in sunny California. I'm 10 minutes from the beach, right? And I go every summer and I swim in the ocean, and the waters are murky in the, beaches of Los Angeles, even like in Manhattan Beach and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I feel the littlest thing, hair on the back of my neck lift up, I jump into a ball and float on my back because I heard one time a shark can't eat you like that, right? Because of its snout. And I probably do that like maybe like 2 or 3 times every single time I'm in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And then also on top of that, Rosemary's Baby is a really fucking dope movie for sure. And it's amazing. And as the Pope come and he's like, I don't know, they are playing stickball in a giant what is going on in a soccer field, this and that. I know it was late because they're playing stickball, Joe DiMaggio. And it has the Illuminati in it, which are two real and also scary things, especially the Pope. But Jaws for me is not sharks for me are scary, and the shark stuff rules, and the Jaws rules, and the sea captain rules, and everything about it is an amazing movie, and it's a better movie. It is a better movie just all around, but that's not to say that Rosemary's Baby isn't also a great movie, but Jaws is the better movie and scarier for me personally. So,
all right.
I don't know how we rate this. Are we doing this by scary? Maybe we're a little bit into it now, but is it how scary it is, or is it how
you rank it whichever way your heart desires?
Whatever I want. I feel like Jaws is the better movie than. What does Caleb know? He hasn't even seen Jaws. Think about that.
I have not seen, but I have seen Mia Farrow's tits though in Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, that was definitely a good scene. But you get to see some also nice boobage in Jaws, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's a beach movie, so But which means you guys are tied for this. I have a tiebreaker on this, which means it comes down to me to have to decide this. And
oh yes,
as I said in the beginning, this is not an easy matchup for me, and I fucking hate this matchup. And but you know what? Let's see. Rosemary's Baby won last time we did this last week, but Caleb hasn't seen Jaws, so I feel like it's a disadvantage in the bracket then if he hasn't seen one of the movies in it. So part of me wants to make Rosemary's Baby move on just because Caleb has seen it. And knowing what's coming next, it might be a good thing to have seen both movies. So fuck it. Rosemary's Baby moves on, and also because I do have a shark movie bracket that we've done, and Jaws.
That's a good. Yeah, that proves you can just do it any way you want, willy nilly. It doesn't. None of this matters.
I mean,
guess I'm surprised Caleb got. It's okay. He can win one bracket. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but it's fine.
I mean, I have a Rotten Tomatoes shark movie bracket, which we've done as a group, and I also just made a Flickr shark movie bracket that's 3 or 4 parts because there's that many shark movies that exist.
Damn, that is yeah. Also, think about that for Jaws. Okay, it's like a subgenre of all the way through Sharknado. You know, Sharknado doesn't exist without Jaws and stuff. Anyways, that's fine. Let's go.
All 6 Sharknadoes are in those brackets. Trust me. But I fucking love the first 2 Sharknadoes. They're so good. But to face Rosemary's Baby in round 2, you're right. You do start the next one at Mr.X, and it's going to be either number 11 ranked Bride of Frankenstein or number 26 ranked Halloween, the original Halloween from 1978.
Yeah, Michael Myers. There should be, you know how he's like oftentimes just like in the background?
Yep.
They should have had him in every single scene hiding in the background.
Yeah,
like no matter what. Like every single scene he's like back there doing something no matter what's happening.
That would be terrifying.
Like the one time he's just in the background taking a piss against a tree and like looking back over his shoulder at them while they're talking and they don't even realize he's there.
He's Michael Myers. He has to pee, right? He's still, he hasn't been like escalated to like the levels that it goes, but I mean, he's still just a crazy, just a strong guy or something, right?
He's just an escaped mental patient.
You know who rules in that? The detective. Or he's not a detective, he's a psychologist, right? But he dresses like a detective, so that he dresses like Columbo, so that throws people off, right? Bride of Frankenstein is terrifying because it's a close examination on the mind of the woman, which is
Jesus Christ.
You know, like she's like, you know, like he's ugly, you know, he's everything that I am, and he's the most. Frankenstein, the monster, is the closest thing to me in this entire world, but he's ugly, so I hate him. And it's like, and I'm like, good God, I'm like, God damn, this is terrifying. Is that what's gonna happen to me when I lose my looks? And it is, right?
Yep, exactly.
And then Halloween is scarier for a lot of people like me because it's one of these films, horror movies that you see when you're younger. They're like, well, it's not that bad, so you know, I guess we'll traumatize our children, right? And I go back, I watch Halloween every couple Halloweens. I mean, it is a iconic movie, right? Which makes it, this is a tough one, but I'm gonna say
I'm holding my tongue until I find out if it's coming to me or not.
Okay. So I'm going to say in this case, I mean, I'm just going to say that I do go back and watch Halloween more frequently than Bride of Frankenstein. You know, I'll watch that in like Turner Classic Movies or something because my mom's really old, and I'll go in there and watch Turner Classic Movies with her. They play that every Halloween, right? But Halloween for me rules, and the idea I have a fear of, I have like a somewhat of a safe house myself because I have a fear of someone breaking into my home and murdering me, right? But so Jason particularly, I mean not Jason, Michael Myers, they're the same guy. Let's just say Jason. So Jason is pretty much this one of the scariest things for me personally with a horror movie. So I do say Halloween in this bracket.
Thank you. That was the first horror movie I ever saw that scared the shit out of me, and that was Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Wow, that was not traditionally scary, no, but it is. It is pretty. Yeah,
I lived 2 hours. I grew up 2 hours from New York City, so the fact that I thought Jason was in New York City scared the shit out of me because I would wake up at night and think I see like a hockey mask outside my bedroom window.
Yeah. Well, he essentially is now with how New York is. You know?
True, yeah.
There's some
Yeah,
guy,
he moved
some
to.
huge guy going around stabbing people with a kitchen knife right now as we speak in New York. So you should be
Undoubtedly.
I haven't
more
heard about
scared than
that.
ever.
I don't live there anymore, so I'm good. But
Oh, true. Where do you live?
but
Wait. That's a good quote.
I moved I moved up to Massachusetts, so I'm up another state. He'd have another 3 hours to walk if he wanted to get to me.
He could do it.
But oh, he could do it. But let him try. I got dogs now protect me. But Caleb, is it Bride of Frankenstein or the OG Halloween?
Well, keeping up with expectations, much like the previous brackets, I have not seen Bride of Frankenstein, and I've only seen parts of Halloween, but I enjoyed Halloween, the bits that I've seen of it, and I can't imagine that Bride of Frankenstein is better. Although I do want to hear your remarks on it, so I think I'm going to go Bride of Frankenstein here.
I am
What
so
the
happy
hell?
you just.
What?
What? It's my bracket, Mr.
Yeah, I
X.
know. I get that. That's true. No rules.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the funny thing about that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the original Halloween with a passion.
Wow.
You think it's boring?
It's boring as fuck.
Yeah,
They're
a lot of
like
people think it's boring.
I just rewatched Halloween for a serial killer movies bracket we're doing because I haven't seen it in a good 15 years. So I'm like, all right, I owe it a rewatch, and wasn't impressed. Was fucking bored out of my mind. I have a 7-point list of why Rob Zombie's Halloween's better, and
Ooh, wow, that's controversial.
That is controversial, yeah.
oh, I get shit for that all the time. But I gladly give this to Bride of Frankenstein just to have Halloween finally go out in the first fucking round of this because that never happens.
Wow. Okay.
And I know Bride of Frankenstein's probably gonna be cannon fodder in the next round, but I don't give a fuck.
All right, well, fair enough.
It's a good movie. I'll take
It's a
it.
good movie. I mean, like I said,
It's Universal. Universal monsters are classic.
Universal monsters
Classic.
do rule. Yeah, I agree.
We'd have nothing we have today without Universal monsters existing.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's true.
So that means your next matchup, which Caleb gets to start, is number 10, A Quiet Place, versus number 25, Silence of the Lambs.
Oh man, I have actually seen both these movies for the first time.
Surprised.
Yeah, so am I. I knew it had to happen eventually. Man,
Wow,
this is a
34
tough
movies. I
one,
damn well
actually.
hope so.
Silence of the Lambs or A Quiet Place? I saw A Quiet Place recently. I thought it was a bit silly. Obviously, you have to suspend a lot of your belief to really enjoy that movie. I think this is pretty easy. Silence of the Lambs here. Silence of the Lambs is just a classic. It's well done. It's hard to criticize in any major fashion. Yeah, easy Silence of the Lambs here for me.
Yeah, Buffalo
Mr.
Bill.
X.
We talked about The Quiet Place. Yeah, we talked about it on our podcast before. I said that there should be like a, like they're trying to be all quiet all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I said there should be like they should have like a roommate, who's like a black guy, and he's like he's like always playing like loud rap music, and like when they tell him to be quiet, since it's like two okey doke white people, he's all pissed about it and stuff. Anyways, that'd be a cool movie, I
Quiet
will
Place
also,
in the Hood.
Yeah, Quiet Place, and he's like, they're like, please be quiet, and then it's like, the monsters are outside, right, and they're like, all quiet, and then he's like, they're like, shut up, Jamal, and he's like, man, why? Anyways, so that did not happen in A Quiet Place, which makes it a lame movie because it in the end is just about two okey doke white people. Oh, I guess they have a kid or something. I don't know. But Silence of the Lambs has Buffalo Bill, and Buffalo Bill is like, he's so cool, man.
Yeah,
he's
wearing
like,
people's skin.
Yeah, he's like I mean, come on, like if you like BDSM, you gotta be like, this guy rules, man.
True.
He's
Yeah.
like, and Hannibal Lecter rules, and Silence of the Lambs. It's like is it a horror movie?
It's we've had this debate on multiple podcasts, and it's technically a psychological thriller, but
Right, yeah.
it can be classified as in every bracket I've ever done that it could be thrown into as a horror movie. It's been thrown into as a horror movie. So,
I mean, there's elements of horror for sure, but yeah, psychological thriller. Yeah. I'm gonna say Silence of the Lambs. I love Silence of the Lambs. It's like one of the most. It's probably like one of my top 15 movies. So here's the Silence of the Lambs. It's awesome.
I've seen it win a horror movie bracket out of 103 other horror movies. So yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's just that good of a movie, and there are horror elements, and especially a night vision scene at the end. That's definitely horror. You know, I think that tips the scales just ever so much. You know, outside of these characters, you know, I mean, there's horror in everyday life, right? I mean, everyday life is way more horrible than any horror movie, actually. So, you know, I get it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But to face Silence of the Lambs, then, of course, Mr. X gets this one first. It's going to be number 9, The Invisible Man, the original, versus number 24, Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm going to go with Bone Tomahawk. That movie is indeed scary. It's kind of like a torture porn thing, but you know, it's fun. And it's got to be like one of the most accurate depiction of the Native Americans I've ever seen. You know, people always like paint this picture of like the guy, the Native American guy crying when someone litters, right?
Right. Yeah.
But they rarely depict them as like, you know,
murdering someone
people,
for littering.
Exactly,
eating them for littering.
Yeah. You know. So, and I love, and we've talked about this on the podcast before. I have a deep love for the Native American, and you know, like that stuff. But I mean, you know, they were also very fearsome and terrifying sometimes. And Bone Tomahawk really just walks that tightrope perfectly. And Kurt Russell rules in it, and it's scary, and it's kind of like gut wrenching and stomach turning, and I didn't expect to, when I was seeing a movie called Bone Tomahawk, I thought it was about that old comic book character Bone, right? And he sucks, but Bone Tomahawk rules. So I'm gonna go Bone Tomahawk. And the Invisible Man's cool too, but I mean, it's not. I guess it's a horror movie.
It is, and I mean, I'm gonna say that I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't think that you could ever say Native Americans were more terrifying and fierce than white people are. But
no, absolutely. You take away people's Netflix subscription, we're in a lot of trouble. Absolutely. But I'm just saying that they were fearsome warriors, and you know, we make it seem like the poor Native Americans just like rolled over, you know, for the white man, which they did not. They were brave, and they were you know, honorable, and they were many tribes were like warrior class, you know, like these people, you know, like they were, you know, I might be romanticizing a little bit too, you know, but I mean, they lived off the land. They fought, they survived against perilous travel, harsh and cruel nature, other tribes and stuff, and you know, they're just a very, you know, stoic people in a lot of ways, and that really appeals to me. And I love nature and stuff like that. And I spent time on the res, you know, and there is as much bad blood as the pale face has with the Native American. They're always nice to me. So,
yep. Which Caleb, that means it's your choice. Is it Bone Tomahawk or Invisible Man?
I actually haven't seen the original Invisible Man, but I have seen the Kevin Bacon one, and I don't know which one's better, but I can't imagine the original can be worse than the new one. But I mean, Bone Tomahawk is just an incredible movie. It's another one of those movies that I was just not prepared for how good it was. So yeah, easy Bone Tomahawk here. It's one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh, Caleb says give it an easy bone, and that means that the next matchup gets started off by Caleb, and it's a sci-fi mix-up, a horror sci-fi mix-up. It's number 8, They Live, versus number 23, Aliens from 1986.
Oh, wow. Okay, I've actually seen both of these movies. They Live was pleasantly surprising for me. My hometown is actually Detroit, and I thought that it did a really good job of kind of capturing the essence of the city. Also, the music by Disaster Piece is, as we all know, one of the best parts of the movie as well. A bit silly of a movie in concept, but it still was pretty enjoyable for me. Um, Aliens, though, obviously a solid movie as well. Although I think I prefer just Alien more. I think I'll go with It Follows here.
Not one of the options.
They
They Live.
they live. They live. I'm sorry. I was thinking It Follows.
No,
what
that
the
will be
hell are you
talking-
talking about?
I was talking It Follows the entire time.
Jesus.
Okay, let me go back. I have actually seen They Live as well.
Does It Follows take place in Detroit?
It does, yes.
Oh,
You didn't know that?
Yeah,
All right. No,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I did not know that. No.
I mean, it doesn't really take it. You don't go by a giant fist.
They do go by the fist in the movie.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it in a
Yeah.
while. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rewatch that. Let's literally rewatch that part.
All right, well, it's two pronouns. I got confused by the titles here. It Follows, They Live. Very similar titles. They Live, very good movie. Roddy Rod Piper. The fight scene between he and the David Keith, I think his name is,
Yeah.
was ridiculous. But overall, the movie kicked ass. It was very enjoyable. Let's see.
Yes,
Aliens or
you-
They Live.
You could say the movie was out of bubblegum.
You could. I think I'm gonna go They Live on this one.
And Mr. X.
Wow. I think that yeah, They Live rules. Yeah, you're gonna put on these sunglasses, or I'm gonna make you eat them. I think is that what he says? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something similar.
Yeah, yeah. And then of course, yeah, it's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum. I mean, obviously, this movie is what gave rise to the Duke Nukem franchise, which
Mm-hmm.
rules. And They Live rules. And it's also another film with like the Illuminati and like it's kind of like part, like body snatchers, part like I mean They Live is all over the place. In terms of scope, I think it's a little bit more grand than Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And it rocks. And when he shoots the cop, remember? Everyone loves that scene when he shoots the cop. He's like this and that, and he goes and shoots the cop. That was dope, dude. We at the Macky Rat podcast support those who risk their lives every day in law enforcement and stand behind the thin blue line. But when he shoots the cop, that rules. Aliens is Alien with a robot at the end, though.
Mm-hmm.
So think about
Exactly.
that. So I'm gonna have to give it to Aliens.
Wow.
Oh,
I like it. So first of
Making-
all, I love Alien and I love Aliens and I love space and stuff like that, And we've talked about aliens before. I know all sorts about aliens, and They Live too. It's like it's the reptilian shapeshifters and stuff like that. I get that, but in terms of just being, They Live is a more fun movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got lots of good stuff. But it kind of like some parts it just peters out and gets really boring for me. I
Yeah, I didn't
and
like the
and
wrap up ending. I'll say that.
the
much.
the wrap up ending and the love story does not work.
Mm.
She's
yeah.
like, this guy is insane. That turns and that is true. That is it's another one of these things where it's like a introspective on the mind of the woman, where she's like, like they love the bad boy. Well, good for you, Roddy. I hate you. I hate you, Genie. You didn't want to date me. Anyways, I'll go with Aliens just because altogether it's a better movie and the pacing and everything about Aliens rocks and the cat and
Well,
you know,
that means you give it to me to decide.
do it.
And
It's Aliens.
if we're doing a horror movie bracket, these two, it's 100% Aliens because it's way more of a horror movie actually.
True, yeah, that's true.
They Live is like more of a sci-fi comedy. Like Aliens is that queen is fucking badass as hell at the end, and the whole get away from her, you bitch scene, like fucking incredible. Like it's just Aliens is amazing. Alien is not, but Aliens is amazing. But
wow,
I think Alien. Well, we'll get to Alien.
Oh, we will. But that means Mr. X gets to start out the first play-in match of the night, and this is called the Chancey Grife Invitational Matchup because he is my co-host of my other show. And when we originally did this, he was on the panel, and I could not put these two movies into it, even though they were further down the rankings by one of them by very far. But your first play-in match for the night, Mr. X, is number 54 ranked Hellraiser versus number 96 ranked Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the OG version.
Oh, that's hard. That's a hard one. Hellraiser.
As hard as Leatherface and TCM2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get it. Okay, so I'm gonna go with let's see. Hellraiser is cool because it has Pinhead in it. And the Cenobites in general are pretty important because they also influenced without Hellraiser, there's no Berserk. And Berserk is like this fantasy comic from Japan. It's probably like for me the best fantasy thing for me. But then Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like one of the only movies that really like got a physiological like response from me. I'm not really scared of stuff. Nothing scares me. But when he chainsaw massacres the guy from the bottom up, that scene is so gnarly. You know, I saw it as like a teenager, you know, and that scene was so gnarly that it like got my palms sweaty. I was like, this is hardcore, man. And super hardcore. And it's one of these bad ending theater things, which rules. So many times people forget like how great bad ending theater is. And just everything about it is so unsettling and scary and falls within the realm of plausibility versus Hellraiser. I mean, I'm sure stuff like that absolutely does exist because I'm a firm believer in the occult, right? But like, you know, I've never had any like Aleister Crowley like demons visiting me experiences, right? But I've driven through like Texas and St. You know, like near outside San Antonio and stuff, and that shit is scary. And even just being on the highway at night, it's scary as hell. And the idea of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre being out there is very real, and it scares the hell out of me. So I'm going to go with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And, of course, obviously, it's like, you know, it's like importance in cinema is well beyond Hellraiser. It's an amazing movie. It's fucking terrifying. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Hey,
Well,
get your host on. Get your co-host on. There's time. Message him.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell he's doing. I ain't gonna fuck with his night. But that means that Harley says hello, by the way. And hey, Harley, thank you for watching. And Caleb, that means it's up to you. Hellraiser or Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I haven't seen the big surprise. I haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I did watch Hellraiser for this though. And I've been wanting to see it a long time because obviously the the Cenobite designs are famous at this point. Everybody knows them. I was very disappointed by this movie. I thought it was extremely silly. I thought the story was nearly incomprehensible. It was mostly just like a practical effects showcase, I thought, and that was cool. You know, it's cool to see effects done in a realistic way. I think Clive Barker has some really cool, or Clive, is that his
Yep,
name?
Clive Barker.
Clive Barker.
Yeah.
I think Clive Barker has some great ideas, but fundamentally, as a screenwriter and director, not so great. So just by default, I've got to give this one to Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well.
Well, Harley disagreed with you and went with Hellraiser, but that means that Texas Chainsaw Massacre does move on into round one, and it will be facing right away the number 15 ranked movie on this bracket, The Lighthouse. And Caleb gets this one first.
The
Wait,
Lighthouse.
what does
and-
Harley think Hellraiser is so great?
Well, Harley is also my other co-host and from another show, and I know she loves Hellraiser. She loves Pinhead.
Wow, I'd love to know why.
Yeah,
All right,
Pinhead's
so
cool.
it was Lighthouse and what again?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh man, I haven't seen either of these movies, so this is gonna be. I'm gonna have to give this one to Mr. X to decide ultimately. But I did want to see The Lighthouse. It seems really good. But yeah, I haven't seen either one, so I can't really speak. What do you say, Mr. X?
Well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre for sure. It's like the scariest. For me, it might be the scariest scary movie, maybe, just because it's so like graphic. You know, it's the graphicness. You know, I mean,
Right.
there's some. Well, maybe not the scariest, but I think it's scarier than The Lighthouse.
Yeah, I don't think The Lighthouse seemed that scary. It just seemed like a well shot kind of.
It
strange.
was supposed to be like more of a psychological horror movie.
It's a
but
psychological thrill. Yeah, okay, psychological horror movie. Yeah.
I mean,
like that can be good, but it's not. It's like I don't know.
Was it like a Lovecraftian thing or something?
Yeah, well, not really, but I mean, it was just two. It was two lighthouse keepers having a mental breakdown, and the only saving grace is that William Dafoe's in it. I mean, if you want to see Robert Pattinson jerk off in a movie, then that's a movie to watch. But
yeah, that's the
Wow.
thing. The Green Goblin. That's the famous one where his accent is no one knows where his accent's from, right? I think that's the famous story behind it. He just he had people coach him on an accent, but it just came out like that. Anyways, it is I don't know, maybe too artsy. No, psychological horror is the best when it's Lovecraftian, right?
yeah, I mean, in a way, yeah.
Yeah, I think so for me personally. And then because that can be scary, you know, the cosmic horror type things. The Lighthouse is not that. It's too artsy for me, I think.
It is. I mean, I hated it. It was horrible. But
okay, good. Thank you. Okay. You're right. Okay, I don't want to. I don't want to upset Harley though. Primarily, I'm scared now.
Well, Harley liked The Lighthouse, but I mean, like I said,
if Harley liked The Lighthouse, then yeah, I know. If she liked Hellraiser,
yeah, she's smart. She has like we're talking about an intelligent person here. I'm beginning to. You painted a picture of Harley. I'm beginning to understand her.
Oh, she is a very intelligent person, and
yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, she's very intelligent, and horror movies. It all depends on what triggers you more than anything. That's what makes horror movies for people. It's what triggers you. Everybody gets triggered by different things, and that's what makes horror movies different for everybody. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different favorite horror movie. That's the best thing about horror movies. It's not like Marvel where you could be like where 90% of people are going to say, "Oh, Avengers Endgame is the best movie."
Yeah, damn. Yeah, and the Macky Rat podcast is happy tonight to be on Paranormal, the New Normals, Marvel movie bracket. Oh wait, no, we're still on horror movies. That's right.
And that means that you guys get to go to the other side of round one now. And it's going to be in the first matchup, which Mr. X gets to start. Number 7, The Babadook, versus number 22, Night of the Living Dead.
These are two important movies because one, The Babadook is a LGBT queer hero, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the other one is important because it's an examination of the other and how we don't look at people different than us as human beings. But the major difference between these two movies is one sucks and one rules. So I'm going to have to go with Night of the Living Dead because it has, and also it has the way, I mean, it's like how we kind of look at zombies, right?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Today, there's no Resident Evil. There's no The Walking Dead. There's no like this shoot him in the head. There's no any of it without Night of the Living Dead, which rules. And The Babadook is about a ghost who was proclaimed an LGBTQ plus hero because he mildly scares a middle-class white family, which is not as cool. It's cool. But it's not as cool, right? It'd be cool if he used like gay stuff to terrify them,
That would
like
be cool, yeah.
like he like has like a pride flag. He puts up a pride flag, and we're like, "What?
No.
Put this in my house!" They run up and they covered a child's ear. It's like, "Go get out of here!" Anyways, the Babadook is not very scary for me personally, but
and just to correct you, the Babadook is not a ghost. It's a topa. It's like a golem.
That's right. It's like a golem.
It's a topa. It's made out of mind power because they believe the kid believes the story's so real that the Babadook comes to life.
Yeah, that's cool. That's the way that is true. So they do. Let me tell you one thing about the Babadook. It does do some stuff like that actually pretty well. Like one of the big things with witchcraft and the occult is the more you believe in it, the more hold it can have above you. It does that element good. Everything else, I don't think. I personally wasn't too scared, but I do like stuff like that. I love the occult. We talk about the occult on the Macky Rat podcast all the time. Really big into occult. Really big into conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So, anyways.
Well, there you go. And Harley agreed with you and said Night of the Living Dead in that one, but.
Hell yes.
But Caleb, what's your choice going to be? Night of the Living Dead or Babadook?
I've seen Babadook. Haven't seen Night of the Living Dead. Didn't really care for Babadook. I guess it's like a movie about like dealing with it seems almost like the Babadook is not real. It's basically just about mental illness, I guess, or dealing with like the mother's grief after the loss of her husband. Obviously, as Mr. X mentioned, we owe Night of the Living Dead our entire notion of zombies, so I think I'm going to have to agree there and say Night of the Living Dead as well.
Well, I 100% agree. Babadook is pure trash in my mind. But
yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen Night of the Living Dead because I'm not a huge zombie movie person, especially older zombie movies. But on this one I could agree. But Caleb gets to start off the matchup to see who's Night of the Living Dead is going to face in the next round, and it's going to be number 6, When a Stranger Calls, versus number 21, The Blair Witch Project.
Oh man, haven't seen When a Stranger Calls, but it looked pretty interesting based on the trailer that I saw. But I love Blair Witch Project. I mean, amazing movie.
Oh, you're one of them. You're one of them.
Oh, you're not a fan of the movie, huh?
Oh my God, found footage movies can be amazing, but
right.
Blair Witch is not a good example of that.
Oh man, I thought.
Do you like When a Stranger Calls?
I mean, depends which version you're watching. Really, the old version is horrible. The newer version is actually really good. But
yeah,
and I mean that's real life fear. That's someone being in your house and not knowing it. Like that's real life fucking fear right there.
That happens all the time. Like someone's like living in your fucking crawl space or something, you know? Like once a year it happens.
To some people, I guess. I never had to experience it, thank God. But
do you have an attic? Attic?
Not really big enough for anyone to live in.
Huh.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see about
and
that.
They'd have to fight the freaking mice for shit. But yeah.
But yeah, Blair Witch is. I found it. I saw it when it came out, and I just found it terrifying. Still holds up fairly well in my opinion. Not quite as well as when I had originally watched it, but pretty well. But still, um the newer version of um the
When a
other
stranger
movie,
calls.
yeah, when
When
a
a Stranger
stranger
Calls,
calls, seemed pretty good. And since you say that it was good, I'll definitely have to put it on my watch list as well. But still, I'm gonna go with Blair Witch on this one.
I too am
And
gonna
Mr.
go with the
X.
Blair Witch. Yeah.
Oh,
It's like a, people to this, when it was like a big deal, especially to advertising, like people were like stupidly, mind you, but people thought that this was like a real thing that happened. They were watching real like footage
Right?
of these
Yeah.
people dying, right? Which is, it's cool, man. But I've been like lost in the forest. I mean, when I saw Blair Witch on Your Time, I was like, that movie's lame, right?
Yeah.
But then later that night, I was lying in bed going to sleep, and all of a sudden, like I did feel like kind of unsettled, and I was like, it kind of like hit me, like the scariness of it all, and like just like not one particular thing, but when I set back and thought of the movie as a whole, I mean, I know the ending sucks and they don't show anything, and it's just a guy, peeing on the wall like Jason, aka Michael Myers in Halloween, or how it should have been. I was like, yeah, this sucks, right? Because I liked Hellraiser back then. I liked all sorts of horror movies back then when I was a teenager. And then it was like when Homer, he's looking at all the billboards and there's one for Clown College, and he's like, I don't care about Clown College. And then slowly but surely it like consumes all of his thoughts, and he's like, I gotta go to Clown College. That's how I was with the Blair Witch. I was like, I don't care about this movie. I've seen plenty of horror movies, this and that. But then it hit me, and I was like, this movie is scary somehow, right? Maybe it's not overtly scary, but it is. And the booger part isn't that great for me personally, but the movie as a whole, with their bickering and this and that, somehow eventually made an effect on me, and I liked it. I didn't see The Stranger Calls. I only saw. I watched a different movie with similar title, but it was a pornographic movie, right? So I just made a mistake. It's just a simple mistake. I thought that was really good, but it's When a Stranger Calls. I haven't seen it. It's like one of the few horror movies I haven't seen, but the Blair Witch I have seen.
Well,
so
that means Blair Witch will face Night of the Living Dead in the next round. But for the next matchup, Mr. X gets to start this. And actually, here you go, Caleb. This one's for you. But even though Mr. X gets to start, this one's still for you. It's number 5, Alien from 1979 versus number 20, It Follows.
Well, there we go.
Well, It Follows takes place in Detroit. What's scarier than that? It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Damn juggalos everywhere.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I am a juggalo, so I blend in, but
hell yes, you are. Oh man, please.
Woo woo.
Bring us on your Juggalo podcast.
Yeah.
I actually have a 2-part Insane Clown Posse bracket on my music show.
Dude, there's this one, man, I was trying to find it, but it was like this Insane Clown Posse song where it's like kind of like it's like a subdued beat, and they play a guitar, right? And they're like rapping to that.
It sounds like chicken hunting or something.
There's a lot of those.
Oh damn! Because this one's like, fuck, man, it's a really good song, and I was looking for it. I went through about like 50 ICP songs, man, and these guys have a countless.
They have
amount.
a lot,
they're like the
huge
Beatles,
catalog.
Man.
Yeah,
they have like a count. They're like the fucking Beatles, dude. I was like, this is insane. Anyways, for me, it's I know you don't like it. I like it. I like Alien. I like Alien a little bit more than Aliens.
I don't know why, but
though it does kind of have a tarnish on it with like the racism stuff that people talk about now,
I really don't hear too much of that, but
Yeah, but they use like an African guy, and then it's just the African guy, that's the, he's not in any costume or anything. That's how he looks naturally. Anyways,
Well-
that's just a joke. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Alien. That movie's cool, man. The lighting's good. It's Aliens
motherfucker
cool.
over here trying to get me canceled. Motherfucker over here trying to get me canceled.
I'm not. No, it's just a joke. I love Alien. I love Eric Geiger. I love what Eric Geiger did. I love the alien. I love the African guy who played the alien. He did a good job. Especially there's this one scene where it's like he's like, "Give me a hug." The alien kind of looks like it just wants a hug. I was like, imagine if that was what won everything. Just the power of love.
That'd be the Rick and Morty version of it. But Caleb, what's it gonna be for you? Alien or It Follows? Since this is the movie you were talking about earlier.
All right, so They Live is a great movie with no.
About Detroit, dude. Does They
let's
Live
see.
take place in Detroit too?
No, I don't think. I think it's L.A.
Oh,
I think it's LA.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, actually.
Let's see. It Follows or Alien? It's a tough one, actually, but I think I'm gonna go with It Follows because I kind of want to hear Jeremy's opinion on which he likes better.
It's about it, right? Doing it.
No. No. Well, I mean, Pennywise could take many forms, so who knows? But no, for this one, I mean, it's down to me, which means Alien definitely is moving on because Alien bores the fucking shit out of me. It's yes, it's
No,
body
I don't know why
horror.
everyone says that. It's not boring. Space is boring.
It's body horror. That's the only thing it is it's body horror, and there are a lot better body horror movies than that. But
Name one.
I'm not a fan of them, but Human Centipede.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, it's a pretty scary movie. Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Kyle. I ate the white fish. But
Yeah.
but I mean, It Follows is basically a movie about the horror of AIDS.
Right.
Which
yeah.
It's about doing it, right? It's like
it's silly for sure. Yeah.
Let me
it's
tell you
funny.
something. There's
Yeah,
nothing. Have you ever had
it's
to get you ever had to get a AIDS test?
No, I haven't. Thank God.
Let me tell you something. There's nothing scarier. They make you wait like 2 weeks for this fucking thing. Okay, so yeah, I get it. Brilliant. You're right,
But
dude.
I mean, It Follows is fucking it's a fun movie, and the fact that it's an old person playing the villain, whatever it's supposed to be. The old person plays the villain, and it's just literally like, which actually the people I had on last week brought up a good point. What if you just got in a plane and went to Australia? Like, would the evil creature be like just chilling in the back of the plane, waiting for you to get off the plane, or would she get you?
Yeah, just sitting in the wheel well.
Like, I mean, what if you get to the airport like before this thing could walk there? Like, does it have the magical ability to teleport onto the airplane and follow you, or is it just stuck waiting there at JFK for the next plane? Like, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. But but I gotta go with It Follows. It's a better movie in my opinion by far. And this next matchup might kill it anyway, so we'll see. But that means Caleb gets to start off the next matchup to see what It Follows is going to face. And it's either number 4 ranked Us or number 19 ranked Let the Right One In.
Huh. I'm not even sure if I know what Let the Right One is. I feel like I might have seen it. It's
a vampire movie, kind of.
A Oh, I have seen it. It's that Swedish one, isn't it? It's like
yes.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I didn't care for that movie really at all. Us, however, was quite a good movie, mostly with some reservations. Jordan Peele. He's kind of on a roll lately, in my opinion. I'm gonna go with Us for sure.
Yeah,
And
yeah, but vampires aren't scary. They're sexy. That's what we've come to learn. We learned our lesson. They're not scary. They're sexy, and no matter what's
not,
happening.
I would say children vampires are fucking terrifying.
Huh.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna withhold my theory applied to that. Maybe I'll have to think about it. But Us is scariest. The lab stuff, like that's what science gone awry is the scariest thing. And you know how it's like they're going through this trouble as a family, and they're called the Wilsons. There should have been like a kid, like who's like a white kid who's like, "Hey, Mr. Wilson." It's like, shut the fuck up. That would have been cool. But Jordan Peele does rule, and I like Us. And I think overall it's a pretty good and more scary. I think it's more scary. I think it's more of a scary movie than his other stuff, right? So I cast my stone for Us as well.
Did you see Let the Right One In?
No, I just watched the trailer. It did not look
it's
particularly amazing to me. Swedish people aren't scary,
Yeah.
You apparently haven't seen Midsummer, but
I don't see Midsummer
write that
either.
one
Everyone's
down.
like, "Oh, Midsummer, it's like this and that." It's like I get it, they're like, "Oh, it's Midsummer." I won't get into it. I won't go on any more tirades that might get you canceled. So I'll spare you my thoughts on Midsummer. Yeah. You know what's really scary? Not just at first I thought it was the movie Up. So I was watching Up and I was like, man, this is scary. This is so scary, right? But then it was the movie Us, and I was like, this is pretty scary too. It's not as scary as Up, but it's pretty scary.
oh god, which means It Falls will face us in the next round. But the next matchup gets started off by Caleb, and it's number 3 ranked Tales from the Hood versus number 18 ranked Hereditary.
Wow. It's a bit of a difficult matchup here. They're very different movies, obviously. So I was really excited to see Hereditary, because everyone was talking it up. I didn't actually. I found it to be a good movie, but somewhat overrated compared to how everybody was appraising it. But still enjoyable. Tales from the Hood. Obviously enjoyable for a completely different reason. I'll say Hereditary on this one because I have a feeling Mr. X is definitely going to go Tales from the Hood on this one.
Well, Mr. X can tell us.
Tales from the Hood. Tales from the Hood is not a perfect movie. And they used to show this like preview. I don't know if Miramax made it or can't quite recall, but it'd be on previews for I was like a Blockbuster kid, so I grew up seeing every single movie in Blockbuster. And whatever company held the rights to Tales from the Hood, they had it on all the previews. And they showed a preview from the scene of the guy spinning in the chair. They're spinning. I think it's from the 4th story, actually. Which is the weakest one, as people say. I believe I've talked about Tales from the Hood a few times. People like the first 3 and don't like 4 that much, and then it's like they have a twist and like, oh man, it was me all along. I am dead, and I was, it's confusing, but it does rule in a way that it was one of these blaxploitation movies that got. Like it was that I'm gonna get you sucker, and for like really cult and niche people, they liked Dolomite at the time. Maybe pretty much like only like African American community in a lot of ways, but Tales from the Hood was one of these black exploitation movies that caught on kind of with the cult following and was and is pretty much my only window into what black people are like. So I'm going to go with Tales from the Hood.
Which means it comes down to me and, well, make Mr. X happy because I didn't like Hereditary at all. I'm going to give it Tales from the Hood.
Yes. I
didn't think you would like Hereditary. I felt like that would not be your type of movie.
It's it's not a movie about retardation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That would be scary, right?
Hereditary is not scary, like just not scary at all. That's the thing. It's just not scary at all. Yeah. But that means Tales from the Hood will move on to face one of these two movies, and Mr. X gets the first decision, and it's going to be either number 2, Get Out, or number 17, Demon.
It's Get Out. Get Out rules. It's awesome. It's a movie about white people stealing black people's fashion style. At its core, you know how it's like sneakers and like Air Force Ones and Nikes and wearing sweats casually and all of this stuff.
True,
you know, all of these fashion trends are basically absconded with from the black community, and that's what the movie Get Out. It flannels, you know, all that stuff. You know, that's what the movie Get Out is about. How white people steal black people's fashion, and they profit on it.
As true as that is, but Caleb, which way you want to go?
I've never seen Demon, so I can't say. But Get Out, as Mr. X said, is an amazing movie. It's one of my favorite movies. It kind of parallels another one of my favorite horror movies, Skeleton Key. So yeah, I got to go with Get Out.
It's fun, and it's fun, and it's really it's probably his best movie, Jordan Peele.
Oh, it is his best movie. Get Out's fucking incredible. Get Out's incredible.
Really good movie.
Bradley Whitford plays such a good villain, but that means that Get Out will face Tales from the Hood in a colorful matchup in the next round. But that means the next matchup, Caleb gets to start, and it's the number 1 ranked movie on this list.
Wow.
Psycho from 1960.
Uh-oh.
And it's going against number 16, Bird Box.
What a matchup.
All right, well, I know there's going to be some people out there disappointed. I have not seen Psycho. I know. Haven't seen Bird Box either, although it did seem interesting. I think we're going to have to turn it over to Mr. X. I do want to get Jeremy's recommendation afterward, though, if I should even bother seeing Psycho. So, but first, Mr. X.
I'll let Mr. X go first, but
you have to pick something. Yeah, no, that ain't happening. Okay, you have to pick something first.
All right, I'll pick Psycho because it's just, I know it's very iconic and a weird movie about not looking at a monster with Sandra Bullock just doesn't seem like it's going to be ultimately that scary.
Yeah. Bird Box sucks. Okay, everyone loved it. Everyone was like, Bird Box isn't. It's a dumb movie. It's stupid. It's not good. Okay, it's one of these like I don't want to talk about it. Bird Box sucks. I like Sandra Bullock. I think she's hot. I think she's still hot.
She is hot, yeah.
But Bird Box is a dumb movie. Watch Birdemic. You ever heard of Birdemic? Watch that.
Yeah, I've heard of
That's
Birdemic.
A scary movie. Psycho for sure. Psycho rules. Okay, it is. I don't care people. Whatever. It's an old movie. It's black and white. It is a very important movie. One, it's one of these movies. It before this, it never had happened before. Pretty much, people were completely blown away by this. But halfway through the movie, they showed that the main character isn't the main character. It's so dope, dude. The main character gets killed, and people were like, "What the fuck?" People thought the movie was over. They're like, "That's how it ends." And then the sister comes, and it's like, it rules. It's like a noir. It's like a murder mystery. It's like psychological. It's got peeping in it, which rules. And I can't say enough good things about Psycho. Obviously, it allowed Alfred Hitchcock to go for to make um uh uh
A lot of good movies.
yeah, a lot of good movies, but the one that rules is Vertigo, right? That's about turning an average chick into a dime piece, and that rules. And without Psycho, you don't get to see.
That's not fucking Vertigo.
That is Vertigo.
No, that's a movie that's actually in our Greek mythology bracket, and that is what the fuck's the name of that movie?
I know it's Vertigo.
No,
he dates a blonde chick, and then they fake the murder or they fake the death, and he thinks the chick's gone, and then he meets the other chick, the chick who's the actress. She's like in love with him, right? And he's like, who is it? James Stewart, right? And he's like, oh, I'm James Stewart. He's like, you look just like this chick. And he's like, why don't you dress fancier? And she's like, I don't know. He's like, no, trust me. And then he's like, why don't you put on a blonde wig? Why don't you do your hair blonde? And she's like,
I feel like we've talked about this on our pod as well.
I am a brunette, this and that. And he's like, yeah, no, but just please try it. And she's like, okay, I guess. And he's like, there, I did it. I made you hot. And that rocks. And that's Vertigo.
All right, the movie you're thinking of is called Pygmalion, but
why does that sound so familiar? I think I've seen that actually. Does that happen then too? It happens in Vertigo also, so we'll just have to say that they're the same movie. I'm on your team with this.
Which
Pygmalion and Vertigo are the same movie.
well, since Psycho's moving on, and since Mr. X gave his piece, I can gladly say my opinion on it, which I know Caleb was waiting for. And Bird Box was a good movie. Is it a horror movie? Debatable. It's an action adventure movie at most. I'd say maybe a little bit of a thriller, but not much.
I'd say adventure too, yeah.
But Psycho, I think the original Psycho was boring as all fucking shit. I respect what it did. It gave us a lot of great things like Bates Motel because it opened up the storyline for Norman Bates to exist, but it just wasn't great. It wasn't great. It wasn't. There's old movies like Rosemary's Baby that are fucking incredible, and then there are old movies like Psycho that are not that incredible. So,
okay,
it's way older than Rosemary's Baby, I think, right?
I don't think so. Rosemary's Baby was 60s too. I mean, maybe it's a few years older, but Rosemary's Baby was definitely 60s.
Yeah, but later, so it's like, I guess so. Sure. I mean, people get turned off by, okay, fair enough.
Well, you guys only have 2 matchups left in round 1, but first you got the first matchup you got to do is the second play-in matchup to determine which one of these movies gets to go to round 1 even. And Mr. X starts this one off, and this is the female redemption matchup. And it's number 55 ranked Teeth versus number 67 ranked Revenge.
My notes for Revenge is Revenge. Teeth is a movie about a vagina with teeth, right?
Yes,
it's based on a folklore story from many cultures.
Yeah, so I mean, do we really even have to debate which movie's scarier?
Yeah, obviously that's the most scary idea possible.
The most scary thing in the world is the movie Teeth. The
end. Well, Caleb, do you agree?
I saw Revenge just a couple of days ago. While I found it to be broadly enjoyable, I wouldn't really call it a horror movie at all. And it again requires a substantial suspension of disbelief. So I would have to agree with Mr. X here. teeth inside of a vagina is the scariest thing imaginable.
Cosmic
Yeah.
horror.
Well, I agree. But that means that 55 ranked Teeth moves into round one, and in the final matchup for round one, it has to face the last movie we haven't talked about yet. Number 30 ranked Cabin in the Woods. And Caleb gets the first choice in this one.
Cabin in the Woods versus what?
Teeth?
It's Teeth versus
Teeth.
Cabin in the Woods.
Oh. All right.
All right, so Cabin in the Woods, pretty enjoyable movie for what it is. Again, not very scary, I would argue, but it, the twist at the end is cool and everything. But I mean, how are you gonna say that teeth inside of a vagina is? I mean, that's just the idea of it. Just thinking about it right now is making me uncomfortable. So I'm gonna go with Teeth again.
And Mr. X?
Teeth is a good movie, but Cabin in the Woods is for me a more entertaining. I can watch Cabin in the Woods again. I don't think I'd watch Teeth again.
Oh yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Cabin in the Woods is very good in it parodies. It's a great parody film. I guess it's a horror movie,
It's a horror comedy, but yeah.
Yeah, it rules, and it's a pro-weed movie, So it does. It has that. It's like a stoner horror. It's like such a odd thing, and then just the way it's not the movie itself. Itself is it's an okay movie, right? It's these little things that they do so well. Like there's this part where they're going down in this lift and it's like showing these other horror
monsters,
right?
Yeah, in the lab, yeah.
And it's such a thing that did not need to be in there, but it is in there, and it just gives the movie so much character. And they do little things like that. They pepper it throughout the movie just enough to be like, there's something going on here that elevates this beyond your average movie. Far beyond your average movie? Absolutely not. But above Teeth, I think so.
Well, that means in the final match in round one, the choice is up to me. And I love both of these movies with a passion. Cabin in the Woods brings so many paranormal and cryptid legends to life in that labyrinth underneath the ground. And when they all get unleashed and they all fight each other, I fucking love it.
Yeah, that rules.
And I am fully behind the idea of a TV miniseries or TV series where each of those monsters gets an episode about where it came from, about how they capture it, and at least one or two scenes of it killing people. But but Teeth is an amazing fucking movie as well. They're both horror comedies. That's the great thing. They're both horror comedies because Teeth is fucking hilarious at parts. When she fucking grabs the doctor's arm and she's just swinging him around the freaking room, it's hilarious. But
Teeth does rule. It's a little dated though.
Not really. I mean, it's a 2010s movie, so it's not that dated. But I gotta give it to Teeth because Cabin in the Woods always wins on this, and I can agree with it normally. But I gotta give it to Teeth because I want to see Teeth have a chance here. And
it's undoubtedly actually more scary for sure. For me personally.
Yes. For me,
a lover, a pursuer and previewer of Tang,
a connoisseur. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, come on, that's Anyway.
Well, that means you guys have officially gone through 34 movies and have completed round one at 1 hour and 24 minutes. So now we get to do round two and beyond, and it usually
what's the time limit here? Are we taking?
There's no time limit technically, but
wow, okay.
But there's no time limit, but I'm pretty sure we'll be done by 2 hours at the latest because after I'm telling you, round two and beyond fly. They go fast because you already talked about all the movies, so it's just you know which ones you want to pick.
The lightning round. Okay, got it. Let's do this.
The first matchup in round two, though, gets started by Mr. X, and it's number 41, It, Chapter 1 versus number 28, Dr. Sleep.
Oh man.
Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, I agree.
Ooh.
He also
Dr.
kills
Sleep.
elderly people. That rules.
I found Doctor Sleep to just be a stronger movie overall.
I like
Why?
how
What do you,
Caleb actually
wait,
has
I
like.
heard something. Well, go on. What you were gonna say something?
I feel like Caleb has. I love how Caleb has like the legitimate reasons, and Mr. X is just like, "Oh, this is why." It's not exactly a reason, but this is why.
Yeah,
It's not.
he's the emotion. I'm the
It's
reason
like,
on the podcast.
yeah. He's half of his answers were, "I didn't see the movie."
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Well, I
a
do.
little more legitimate than that.
Trust me, as someone who does a lot of bracket shows, I definitely respect it when people see the movies. But because I'm the type of person that will watch every movie for a bracket before I do it if I can.
I
I
love
tried. I really tried.
If not, trailers do work. But I mean, I'll
Mm.
talk my way through it if I have to. But that means Dr. Sleep moves on and is going to be facing in the quarterfinals as Caleb starts this one. Either
It's
number
a better Stephen
27.
King thing too.
Yeah.
Personally.
But Caleb starts this one off, and it's either number 27, Rosemary's Baby, or number 11, Bride of Frankenstein.
Rosemary's Baby.
I too say Rosemary's Baby.
See, what I tell you, it goes faster in round
About
two.
the
but you're
Illuminati. That's cool. This stuff happens, man.
Oh, it does. But, I mean, just look at Joe Biden. But that means...
Yeah. He's Rosemary's Baby grew up. He's like, I remember when my dad would come home from work and I'd hear his hooves clopping on the wooden floor. I'm like, what are you talking? What are you talking about, John? Oh yeah, he'd come in and he'd take his hat off, and his horns would just be there shining in front of a fire.
But that means that your next matchup that Mr. X gets to start is number 25, Silence of the Lambs versus number 24, Bone Tomahawk.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Horror. It's horror. For horror, Bone Tomahawk is a real horror movie. Yeah. I'm gonna say it. My gut's going with Bone Tomahawk. Though I think a better movie is Silence of the Lambs.
Well, Caleb, how do you feel?
I agree with that. I also think just personally for me, Bone Tomahawk is kind of the more rewatchable movie. So I'll go with easy Bone Tomahawk here.
Well, I'll tell you, Bone Tomahawk actually won this whole bracket once.
Mm.
And I was a very happy individual because it was when I watched all 104 movies in the original bracket. I was on a different show that did all 104 movies, and Bone Tomahawk was my surprise out of the 104 of how good it was.
Yeah, it's
all the other ones all the other ones I saw, or I kind of knew what to expect. Bone Tomahawk was definitely the pitch hitter.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That means Bone Tomahawk's going to be facing, and this one gets started off by Caleb, either number 23, Aliens from 1986, or number 96, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, OG.
Haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as we know.
And you want me to invite my co-host on here, Mr. X? Jesus, he would have a field day with that.
That's why we need him. We need people berating Caleb.
Yeah, we do. That needs to happen more frequently. I like Aliens, but I don't feel that strongly about it. So I think I'll go Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And Mr. X?
I too will go Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's more horror.
Which means Texas Chainsaw Massacre will face Bone Tomahawk in the quarterfinals.
Uh-oh.
And the other side of round two now, going back to the top, is going to get started off by Mr. X. And it's number 22, Night of the Living Dead, versus number 21, The Blair Witch Project.
That's a good. I'm gonna say Night of the Living Dead. Just because
And
it's
Mr.
a more hopeless. Both are movies that deal with hopelessness, but I like that the hopelessness in Night of the Living Dead and the like people turning on each other and stuff. It's like working in an office. It's pretty good.
What do you think, Mr. X?
Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh. Which means Night of the Living Dead kicks Blair Witch Project's ass out of here, thank God. And
I think
that
he asked me
means
twice though. I don't think Caleb picked.
Yeah, he got 2 votes.
I vote for what I think is best.
Caleb, what would your vote be? Sorry, I got the voices mixed up. I was looking at the other screen for a second.
No worries. For me, despite the more important movie being Night of the Living Dead, I'm gonna have to go with Blair Witch. I feel like it's gonna be more enjoyable for me personally. So it's up to you, which I think I know where you're gonna go on this one.
Definitely not the Blair Witch fucking project. So yeah, you know where I'm going, and it's going to be Night of the Living Dead. I almost said Night of the Walking Dead.
It was the right choice to make.
But I don't think it matters because Night of the Living Dead is going to be facing either, and Caleb starts this one out. It's either number 20, It Follows, or number 4, Us.
Easy Us here, I think.
I too
And
think,
Mr.
Yeah. I think actually none of the things about AIDS though. That really I gotta really think about this, man. I didn't think about that till now. I guess that is about AIDS. I guess I'll go with Us. I just like to say the word AIDS.
You just got to think of the Family Guy episode. You got the AIDS.
Oh man,
calling back a classic here, but
I remember I've seen every episode of Family Guy.
that a boy. But
I've seen a lot of. I've wasted my life. Anyways,
I do not say seeing every episode of Family Guy is a waste of your life. That's for damn sure.
all these movies
But-
too. Anyways, we'll go to next bracket then.
The next matchup is gonna be start off by Caleb. Actually, am I right about that? Or am I wrong about that?
I think it's Mr. X this time. Yeah.
No, it
Yeah,
isn't. Oh wait, it is this
you.
time. You're right. Yeah.
Which
Night of the Living
means,
Dead was mine. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
but it's gonna be Tales from the Hood versus Get Out.
Oh, that sucks.
That's not fair,
two
right?
kind of blaxploitation movies in different veins, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'd say that I guess just barely Get Out inches past Tales from the Hood.
And Caleb?
I mean, Get Out is just obviously the better movie.
So you're gonna make me fucking decide. I mean,
You
obviously,
can
Get Out.
decide. I think we both chose.
we both
Get
agree.
Out.
We both agree. Get Out.
I could have swore I heard Mr. X say Tales from the Hood, but I could have been wrong. I could have been
Not
wrong.
crazy. I mean, I am
All right.
crazy. Yeah, I'm not insane.
What
You would've said-
Kier,
would you
what
have
would
said
you
Get-
choose if you
yeah,
had
yeah,
to pick? Yeah.
Oh, it would have been Get Out. Don't get me fucking wrong.
Okay. Just making sure.
We're all part of the Get Out crew.
Yeah.
But that means your final matchup in round 2 is gonna be started by Caleb, and it's number 1 Psycho from 1960 versus number 55 Teeth.
Versus Psycho versus Teeth. You said.
Yes.
Huh. I mean, I feel like I just gotta go Psycho on this one. I think. I didn't feel like Teeth was that, remarkable of a movie. It's the idea obviously is terrifying, but Psycho's got to be a better movie. Though I
And Mr. X?
I too say Psycho. I like Psycho. I don't care. It's old. It's boring, and whatever.
Right.
I still like Psycho. I think it's cool.
All right, which means we are now going to start the semifinals. And the semifinals are going to get started off by Mr. X as your first semifinal matchup. I mean, your quarterfinal matchup. Fuck. Yeah, it's the quarterfinals. Is number 28, Dr. Sleep, versus number 27, Rosemary's Baby.
Oh man,
Oh boy, that's quite the matchup. It gets
that's
harder.
tough.
This
Yeah,
gets harder.
it
Yeah.
definitely gets harder. Yeah.
Oh, that's the point. Giggity.
Let's see.
But
I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, I'm gonna say Rosemary's Baby.
and
I
Caleb.
dig that movie. That's what you call it.
Roman
Polanski.
Polanski. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I've got to go with Rosemary's Baby on this one as well. Doctor Sleep I do love, but Rosemary's Baby just really surprised me. It just kind of blew me away a little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
Dr. Sleep does well, though.
For your next matchup, to see who Dr. Sleep's facing in the semifinals, I made sure my co-host is watching on this one for this reason. And it's number 24, Bone Tomahawk, versus number 96, Old School Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it's Caleb's turn to start.
Yeah, I mean, Bone Tomahawk is an excellent movie. I'm sorry to your co-host. I'm sure he's a huge fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but Bone Tomahawk is it's just incredible.
And Mr. X?
I too am like your co-host, and I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh man!
Therefore, I will go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre has the current day. Well, not current day, but it's like it's like now it's very current. You can get Texas Chainsaw Massacre today. Just think about that, and it's just like so. I mean, yeah, for
I'm gonna
sure.
have to watch it. Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It rules, and it's like so like just like grim. It rocks. I can't say enough good things. I know it's like one of these movies that it rules. Go out and see. If anyone who's out there listening, if you haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre for some reason, like Caleb, because you're stupid, go and watch it. It rules. Tiebreaker. Let's hear it.
And Chancey finally pipes in and says, it's timeless.
110%. It is timeless.
Which means y'all gonna put this fucking decision on me, and you're either gonna get me crucified tomorrow, or fuck. I do love Bone Tomahawk, I do, but it's a horror movie bracket, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as much as I don't like the original compared to the '90s version, is still a horror movie more than Bone Tomahawk is. Bone Tomahawk was more of a Western. So it has to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I'm pretty sure it's the first time I ever made to the quarterfinals in this, so
wow.
I can roll with it. I could roll with it. I mean, it might not be the first time, but it's definitely not happened as often as it should have. But that means the other side of the quarterfinals is going to be number 22, Night of the Living Dead, versus number 4, Us. And Mr. X gets to start this one.
This is another. How did they land up being like a racially appropriate verses here? Because if it was like, because it's like a social commentary, and obviously, anyways, because if it was like Us versus, Alien, I'd be like, well, I don't know, I think, but for me, I think I'm gonna say Night of the Living Dead, actually, over Us. Us does not Get Out. Let's be real here.
True, very true.
The Night of the Living Dead is the Night of the Living Dead, though. Think about that. Night of the Living Dead. I'm locking it in.
Caleb?
I agree that Us is not Get Out. It was a good movie, but it wasn't his greatest. I think I'll agree with Mr. X here, Night of the Living Dead.
Which means you only have one matchup left in the quarterfinals. And speaking of, Caleb gets to start this one out. It's number 2, Get Out, versus number 1, Psycho from 1960.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, I haven't seen Psycho. I do love Get Out. I've got to go with Get Out.
And Mr. X.
God.
It's tough.
I've been touting how great Psycho is all night long. So I'd seem like kind of a waffler if I just got off the Psycho train now. Even if I for sure would rather, if someone's like, "Hey, do you want to watch Psycho or Get Out?" I'd be like, "I'll probably watch Get Out," right? But would there be a Get Out without Psycho?
No. They're both psychological.
Exactly.
They're both psychological horror, so no.
I'm sure Jordan Peele likes Psycho. He might not admit it, because he's cool. But I'm gonna say Psycho.
As Chancey said, we all go a little mad every now and then.
Absolutely, one of my favorite. Yeah, that's a brilliant line. I'm gonna say Psycho.
Which means it comes down to me, and yeah, I don't feel as bad about this one. So, and in my opinion, they're both horror movies. They're both psychological horror movies. Sure. And Get Out is just because it came first doesn't mean it's best. And Get Out is a far superior movie to Psycho. It is a much more of a M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong twist in the middle of the movie. So
we call him that too.
Yeah,
we call him M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Also, that's a great nickname for him.
But I gotta give it to Get Out since it's my choice.
Fine, it's your show.
Until you get me canceled. But that means number 20 in the semifinals now. We're doing the semifinals. There's only two matchups left.
All my great ideas for Get Out. So, so anyways, what's next? Yeah.
The semifinals are going to start off, and it's number 27, Rosemary's Baby, versus number 96, Texas Chainsaw Massacre OG.
Rosemary's Baby.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, man.
Sophie's motherfucking choice right here. Jesus Christ.
This is the hardest one of the whole evening.
Yeah, this is the...
All right. You know what? Chancey, make it for me. I'm the tiebreaker. Make it fucking for me, because I trust your opinion on this more than I trust my own opinion. Even though I'm pretty sure I know which way you're gonna go, I have a feeling, but I know you also. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1, not 2. You can't use the look at what your brother did to the door. Fuck. Actually, no, that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. No, wait. No, it's not. Oh, fuck, Chancey. But, yeah, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre then, I guess, because Chancey...
You have my solemn promise, Chancey. I'm going to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre tonight.
No, he's not. He's lying. Whenever he says that, he doesn't do it.
Oh, God. Which means Texas Chainsaw Massacre does move on to the finals, forcing Rosemary's Baby into third and fourth place matchup. But your other side, your semifinals here, and Chancey says, yes, it is, what? Yes, it is number 1 or number 2? I said both, so you gotta be a little more specific than that. But the other side of the semifinals is number 22, Night of the Living Dead, versus number 2, Get Out. And Mr. X starts this one.
I can't believe this. It's Get Out. I took it this far. It's gonna be Get Out, isn't it? Son of a bitch. That's gonna be the last man standing, huh? All right, go on.
Yeah, it's definitely Get Out here, I think.
You think?
Yeah. I kind of hate to admit it as well as Mr. X, but it's great.
It is a very good movie. It's very entertaining, and if you like, and I'm sure back in the day, people were like, "This Night of the Living Dead movie's racist," But it's more recent for people to be like, "This Get Out movie is racist," and I see it, and it's like, no, it's like it's not racist really at all, right? But I love stuff like that.
Oh, it is racist in both ways. It's reverse racism and racism. So, but
It plays, yeah,
that means,
it's a wash.
yeah. So I mean that means your third and fourth place match of the night is between number 27, Rosemary's Baby, and number 22, Night of the Living Dead. And Caleb gets to start this one out.
Yeah, I gotta go. Rosemary's Baby. It's gotta be.
Rosemary, what
And
you
Miss-
doing over there, ho? What do I like more? I guess I like Rosemary's Baby more. Yeah, ultimately. When it comes down to putting them both on a table and having to choose, I'm gonna go with the devil having sex with a hot ass chick every time.
Hashtag Mia Farrow's tits. But
Yeah,
Mhm.
if it is in
Oh.
fact, is it the devil or is it just some sort of greater kind of like spirit type?
No,
you
it's
know?
Satan. It's
It's
Satan.
you know,
Satan for sure?
it's all Beelzebub himself. But
Yep.
That's declared. I haven't seen it in a long time.
it's declared. But
Yeah, they say, "Hail Satan."
yep.
You can hail Satan
What-
for one of his minions. All right, anyways,
What
that's a different podcast.
And that means that your finals for the night, which get to get started off by Mr.X, and it's number 96, Texas Chainsaw Massacre OG, versus 94 higher in the rankings, number 2 Get Out.
Get Out's number 2?
Yeah,
Wow.
Mhm.
Jordan Peele opened the door and fucking broke it down and just took his place.
Yeah, he chopped into it with the axe and
Here's Jordan.
said, "Here's Jordan." I guess. Whew. What do I like more? I like both these movies a lot. I would say Texas Chainsaw Massacre just because it is pure horror. Slasher horror.
Hmm.
None of this hidden messages stuff. None of this social messages stuff. Just a guy with a chainsaw massacring people. Is that my choice? Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Get Out, by the way?
Yeah, that's your choices.
That's your choice.
All right,
yeah.
I'll go Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Forget about it.
Huh.
And Caleb?
I'm looking at the entire list, and it's tough for me to even think of a movie that I like on this list more than Get Out, other than perhaps Bone Tomahawk. But I think I'm going to save you the trouble of having to decide at the end, and I'm going to go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well. And I'm going to watch it tonight.
I think if Chancey's still watching, I'm pretty sure he's getting my heart on. But
Brilliant
means-
reasoning. Absolutely. That's the type of twist you love in games like this.
Absolutely,
That's why I
yeah.
So that means your final four for tonight. In fourth place, number 22, Night of the Living Dead. In third place, number 27, Rosemary's Baby. In second place, number 2, Get Out. And in first place, the lowest ranked movie in this whole bracket, Texas Chainsaw Massacre OG version.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, what do they know? It's just a bunch of stupid critics.
For
and
sure.
I
yeah,
guess
it's-
dumb people too. We're the authorities here. It's us three and maybe Chancey.
yeah.
Which, gentlemen, that means you've completed this bracket, but we'll definitely get you back on for another bracket, whether it be horror movies or maybe one of our music brackets on Maniacal Music Musings. But
Hell
we'll get
yeah.
you back for another bracket at
Yeah,
some
on
time.
ICP.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I
if you
gotta
guys wanna do-
ask. Have you ever had a Fago?
I just bought a 4-pack of cotton candy Faygo at the Dollar General 2 weekends ago.
This
Very
guy drinks
nice,
Faygo
very
more
nice.
than water.
Yeah. He bathes in it.
No, I only did that at an ICP concert once. But
Oh, nice.
literally, you get bathed in it. But I smelled like root beer for like 2 days. But tell the people about your podcast. Tell them where they could find it. Promote yourself to the fullest.
We are the Macky Rat podcast. We're a comedy podcast that deals with pop culture, news, and our personal lives. And we're available on all major streaming services. Just type in the MACKY space RAT podcast. And you can follow us at MACKY RAT HOUSE. And yeah, that's it. We just want people out there. If anyone got a laugh out of this, give us a download, and if that gets a laugh out of you, just give us a share and a subscribe, and help us grow. And we dialed it back a lot because we go for like an unfiltered like approach to our comedy. So it's like we think comedy is not something that like movies and horror movies, even not something that should maybe be curtailed back for people's sensibilities on like what's right or wrong or morally acceptable. Like,
yeah, we didn't want to actually get Jeremy canceled though. So
yeah, we didn't want to talk excessively about the underage sewer scene in it. Though, believe me, we could have.
I don't doubt that one fucking bit. But all my listeners know you could find me and my shows. Well, if you don't know by fucking now, what the hell's your problem? God damn it! I've been doing this so damn long. But yeah, I usually just say on this show, just listen to the outro. But you can find me on Facebook as the Uncensored, Unapologetic, and Untamed Podcast Collective, UCubed. You can find me on X and the Gram as that Juggalo Bastard. You can find me on TikTok as that Juggalo Bastard Podcast. And you can find me on YouTube as Paranormal New Normal. And you can always catch me streaming live on Facebook as Parapost Network. Or you can also catch me on Blind Knowledge Network on YouTube, where we are a happy member of Blind Knowledge Network, because all knowledge was blind until Leatherface get that bitch. But until next time, I'll be back
that is when knowledge came to light. That's true.
And I will be back on Thursday with a regular paranormal interview for all my fans. Until then, have a good night. And Caleb, if you don't watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre tonight, Leatherface will come get you.
Oh my gosh.
Or you'll be